Good afternoon, courtroom. We are here today for the case of DeSalle and Carter versus DeSalle and Nicholson on the topic of, is Jill guilty of murder? Outside in my chambers, we've decided that the team of DeSalle and Carter would give their opening statements, followed by the team of DeSalle and Nicholson with their opening statements. I will ask both teams to please speak loudly during your court case today. If you have any information that you would like to have under the overhead, it will be your job to do that. Okay? Alright, so Mr. DeSalle, Mr. Nicholson, hold on. Bailiff, will you please escort Miss Hoffman to a chair, please? I went with the, tried to save the school, so I went with part colonial for American Revolution, part judge.
Multi-purpose.
Yes. Okay. Mr. DeSalle, Mr. Nicholson, your opening statements.
We can't get you a gavel?
I thought this was more unique.
Welcome, wonderful charity. Everyone knows the story of Jack and Jill, but do you know the whole thing? It is really an eyewitness account of what happened.
If you were to read the account, you would know the entire story. Jill's own mother agrees. After Jack fell and ran home, Jill came in and had a huge grin at the sight of the paper bag around Jack's head. And then the next day, he died. We hope you choose our verdict of guilty and put Jill behind bars before more people are killed like Jack. Thank you.
And Mr. Carter, Mr. DeSalle, your opening statements.
Jill cannot and will not be called a murderer. She won't be guilty of a crime she did not commit, nor suffer the consequences of a criminal. Think about this. You all have friends here. Would you ever push your friend down a hill or lie straight to their face? So don't take it from us. Take it from our eyewitnesses and spot-on proof. I hope you walk away today with a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you. And Mr. Carter, will you come to the bench? Bailiff. Mr. Carter, Mr. DeSalle, do you have any comments for the jury?
No comment.
Do you have any witnesses for the jury?
We'd like to call Jill's teacher to the bench.
Jill's teacher to the bench. Yeah. Bailiff? Ethan, walk over.
You swear to tell the truth, only the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, they did.
Or whatever you believe in. Let's leave that option. Okay, your witness, Mr. Carter.
How long has Jill been a student in your classroom?
For 3/4.
Alright. And has she ever been violent in your classroom?
No.
And we have proof to prove this also. Does she have a letter from the teacher?
You manage it, put it under the document camera so everyone can see.
This is our proof.
If you want to come up here to point out anything, you can come up here.
Is there a bonus button? Alright, as you clearly see in this letter by just reading it, you see that Jill cannot be violent. There's nothing in this letter that proves, and this has been for 3/4, she has been innocent of not ever doing anything bad in her class.
So, is this Patty Pale?
Yes.
This is Patty
This is
Pale.
Miss Vale.
Fourth grade teacher at Upper Elementary School, I wanted to inform you about the character of Jill, one of my most cherished students in my classroom. Jill is a kind, respectful student, who always goes above and beyond. A student. During the holidays, Jill helps me organize a toy drive for those less fortunate. Okay, this says, according to Miss Pale, that she is a model student.
Yes.
Okay,
And
continue.
again, as you can see, nothing in this letter proves that she can be violent. I have no further questions at this moment.
Mr. Dussault, do you have anything for Miss Pale?
Not at this time.
Would you like to cross-examine Miss Pale?
Yes.
I have a piece of evidence on it.
Meredith, will you take this back to them?
Now, have you ever taught or seen Jill's younger brother Jack?
Yes,
Was he nice?
very, very nice.
Now, I'd like to show this to the jury. A diary entry written from Jill, and this is torn out. That's just talking about her brother Jack.
I hate Jack, he harasses me so much, he will... He spilled milk on my favorite shirt accidentally, in quotes, killed my fish, and he saw... What?
Says,
And says... Why don't you read it?
okay. And says that he's the owner of our dog. He doesn't let anyone pet him. Sometimes I feel I want to kill him, push him off a mountain, or just stab him with a knife. I could just do it now. He even ruined my New Year's by taking all the balloons I had and letting them go when I promised my friend I would take them to him. I just want to kill him.
Okay, continue your questioning.
So, does this seem like a nice, respectful person to you?
Seems like a typical sister.
Well, apparently, after she wrote this, she did kill Jack. Now, like most people,
Davis allegedly killed Jack.
may I go on? Like most people at school, they're polite and respectful, correct?
Usually, but no, sometimes they're not polite. I think I have probably 15 to 20 students per year who tell someone they're going to kill them, but they don't actually ever do that. I dealt with it last week, where a boy said, I'm going to take a shotgun and blow your head off. He was 6. He did not do that.
Okay then.
It's a euphemism, it's a phrase. I hate you, I'm gonna kill you. I've said it to my own sister probably 9.2 million times. She's still alive, by the way.
No further questions.
Do you have anything else for Miss Pale?
Can you prove any of that on that? Do you have any proof that she killed the fish? Do you have any pictures, or do you have any sort of evidence?
Rhetorical.
Right. I have no further questions at this moment.
Do you have anything else for Miss Pale?
So Miss Pill has to go to Horizon.
Yes. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't
Do you have anything else for Miss Pale?
No.
Bailiff, will you please escort Miss Pale out of the courtroom? Thank you, Miss Pale. Okay, Mr. Carter, Mr. Dussault, do you have any comments for the jury?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you ever said to one of your siblings or brothers that you want to kill them? Or something like, I'm gonna hurt you, or things like that, because just you get angry at them. Have you ever done that? Horrible. So think about that, and just that, those words. Just think that. Have you ever said that to one of your siblings?
And do you have any comments for the jury?
Yes. As Mr. Carter said, sometimes people do that. But as you hear on the news, and it happens way more often than people think, a lot of times they do actually kill them. And it happens not too often, but pretty often. And this was one of those times that it happened.
And do you have any witnesses at this time?
Not at this time.
At this time, do you have any witnesses at this time?
Yes. We would like to call own thing dog to the stand.
Please swear to tell the truth, only the truth, and so help you God.
Yes.
Your witness.
Hello, your name is Own Thing Dog, correct?
Yes.
And you are Jack and Jill's babysitter?
That is correct.
And you saw it happen at Jack's murder.
Yes.
What did you see?
Well, I was washing laundry at their house when their mom left to go tell them to fetch a pail of water. She got back 5 minutes later, but the kids were still gone. I finished my laundry so I could go out and look for them. Something was off, and they were fighting. Jill pushed Jack, and he fell all the way down to the bottom of the hill. When he got up, I saw him start running for the house, his legs wobbling. He ran inside, so I put a brown paper bag and vinegar around his head. He passed out in his bed, and when Jill came in, she had an evil grin on her face. Jane slapped her for doing that.
And why were you at the Jackson house?
Well, our families are really close friends, and we live pretty close to each other.
How often are you there?
Probably about 3 times a week, just to help out, because their family is poor, and I like to help out whenever I can.
And do you recognize this?
Yes, that is the account I wrote at my house. I told my husband, and he told me to go tell the police about it.
May I read it?
Yes.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Up Jack got, and home did trot, as fast as he could caper, to old Dame Dob, who patched his knob with vinegar and brown paper. When Jill came in, how she did grin to see Jack's paper plaster. Mother vexed did whip her next for causing Jack's disaster. Continue.
So you wrote the original poem?
Yes, I like to write poems back then. Now I would do it.
And how did the poem get out?
Well, I didn't tell the police at first. Instead, I told Jane, and she wrote it down and showed her husband. They showed it to lots of people, but never Jill. Soon, everybody knew about it.
Did you take this picture?
Yes, I did.
No further questions.
Do you have anything else for this witness?
Now, do you notice how on Jill, on that picture, it seems to be that Jill is pushing Jack? And do you notice the evil-looking eyebrows and evil face she has on while she's doing it? No further questions.
Okay, would you like to cross-examine? And if you cross-examine, remember you're asking questions. Go ahead.
Do you have any proof that you are their babysitter? You know, you have a certificate. They give you a certificate or something when you after you go through that. Do you have any proof that you are their real, legitimate babysitter? Not with me. Okay.
Counselors, do you have any proof of who this individual is?
Not at this time.
You continue?
And how can you prove that is your real handwriting on that? On where? On the letter, the account you wrote. No. But I have a handwriting test, so we asked to see if that is your real handwriting. Objection.
Yes,
That was typed,
it is a typed letter.
not handwriting.
Can I see the account?
Bailiff? Get away from the ground. Shh. Shh.
One more question. You were about to take the handwriting test. Why did you not say that it was typed?
Because it is typed.
Then you were about to take the paper and prove that you could write like that.
I can't write like a type.
No, but you were about to take it and say, yes, I could. And they said an objection. And it's like you were about to take it and start writing. And do you have any proof that was actually your typing?
None.
I have no further questions.
Do you have anything else for this witness?
No.
You may step down. Any comments for the jury?
Not this time.
Do you have any comments for the jury?
Again, I'd like you to remember what we just saw right here, witnessing that she can't prove that that actually is her account.
Do you have any witnesses at this time?
Not this
No,
time.
not this time.
Do you have any witnesses at this time?
Yes. We'd like to call the priest to the stand, also Kevin.
The priest to the stand. You're supposed to look here.
You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. Of course, he's going to be a priest. But you have to do your job. Your witness.
Do you recall ever seeing Jill? Have you ever heard of Jill?
Yes.
Have you seen her? Where have you seen her?
Her mother brings her to church every Sunday.
Well, what does she do at the church?
She helps poor families, reads to children, and gathers clothing and food for the poor.
And this priest was generous enough to bring this to prove that she
Bailiff.
was
Oh,
at the church.
Bailiff. Not in my children, we've got work to do, son. Certificate of caring. This is to certify that Jill, for her outstanding job during the last 3 years, she has donated her time and love to help out the church. If anyone deserves this award, it's Jill. Very proud, Pope Francis, Vatican, Italy, April 13th, 2013. Certificate of caring. Continue.
What happened when she grew up?
She came to the church all by herself.
And do you think that Jill could ever have pushed Jack or hurt him whatsoever?
No, that would be impossible.
As you can see, this very trustworthy witness states that Jill is not capable of doing such a thing.
Would you like to cross-examine Pope Francis?
Yes. You said that it was in Italy, right? Well, wasn't Jack and Jill poor? So how could they live there?
Do you have questions for the Pope, though?
And haven't we all been, at least none of us is that perfect. got a certificate doesn't really prove that she didn't do anything at home.
Do you have questions for the vote? Okay. Bailiff?
Now, what do you mean when you say grew up?
From when she was a small girl to what she is now,
And what is she now?
a young woman,
How old is she?
13.
That is all.
Anything else for the vote?
Yes.
Make sure the questions.
You said that she was 13, right? How can a 13-year-old girl walk to church all by herself without any parents?
The church is not too far from their house.
Yes, but did her parents allow it?
Yes.
They had any proof?
No.
Now you said that Jill is 13, right?
Yes.
Are you positive about that?
Not exactly.
Because I have a birth certificate here that says she's only 12.
Jill Jen Jackson, 5 pounds, 4 ounces. Born June 5th to Joe and Jane Jackson. In the year 2000. Okay, continue.
That is all.
Any other questions for the Pope?
Well, it's time.
Would you like to have any further questions for the Pope?
We have no further questions for this.
You may step down. Any comments for the jury?
How many of you ride to a friend's house on a bike or something like that? It's just nearby. Wouldn't it make sense for a 13-year-old girl who is pretty much a freshman in high school to go right down to a church she lives nearby to help out? Would you help out? No further comments from your.
Do you have any comments at this time?
No, there's not.
Do you have any remaining witnesses?
Yes, we do. We'd like to call Jill's mother to the stand.
Jill's mother to the stand.
You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Smile, Jill's mother, smile. Your witness.
Before we get into any questioning, I'd like to prove that this is
Bailiff.
Jill's mother with a birth certificate. She signed herself.
Continue.
Alright. My client will take the questioning from me.
How long have Jack and Jill known each other?
Ever since they were little kids.
And why is that?
Because Jack's mom and I are very close.
Audience, we should be keeping comments to ourselves. Can you please restate the question?
Do you? How long have Jack and Jill known each other?
Oh, forever, because Jack's mom and I are best friends. So they grew up together. They always play with each other. They get along great. They're inseparable.
Did they ever fight or argument with each other?
Oh no! One time, when Jack was sick, Jill didn't even want to go to school. She just wanted to stay home and take care of Jack.
What happened after Jack and Jill's incident?
Jill came home crying. She told me what happened, and she wanted to go to the hospital to take care of Jack.
As you can see, my client never had any motive whatsoever to push Jack down the mountain.
Anything else? Would you like to cross-examine?
Yes. Now, you say this is their birth certificate, correct? Do you notice that 80 pounds is really a large amount for a baby to be born as? 80 pounds. So Jill...
Poor mother. Continue.
And then also, from the true documents that I have, Jack and Jill are actually brother and sister. Did you know that?
Bailiff? Top one is going to be Jill's possible birth certificate. This one is Jack.
Now you see, they're both from the same mother. Not you, of course. But this is the true certificate. And you can tell, as you can see, that it is true because it does not have a baby weighing 80 pounds. Nobody questions.
Any other questions for this witness? Okay, make sure the questions.
You said that after the incident, Jill came crying home.
Yes.
Prove it.
How am I supposed to prove it?
Like a picture?
Like I'm gonna take a picture of my crying kid.
And a little girl wouldn't be that nice to her brother. They will still argue and fight, right?
How do you know, Olivia?
Yes or no?
Yes.
So, Jill couldn't possibly be extremely that nice at such a young age.
Do you have any remaining questions for this witness?
Yes.
Do you have any proof that she was grinning when she came home? And second of all, what?
Would you want an answer for this?
What?
Did she answer?
Oh no.
Okay.
Do you think they have any proof that she was grinning?
Oh no.
And second of all, I know me and my brother are really close. There are some children that are very close in siblings, and they can be very close. And of course, no one again is perfect, but we can be all very close. My client will take the question and come here.
Do you have any questions, Mr. DeSalle?
Actually, no further questions at this moment.
Okay, you may step down. Counselor, will you come to my bench? Bailiff. Counselor, will you come to my bench? Would you please call up your remaining witness?
I'd like to call up Jill's true mother, Jane Julia Jackson.
Miss Jackson to the stand.
You try to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so much.
Bailiff, take that with you at 1 second.
Now, you are Jack and Jill's mother, Jane Julia Jackson, correct?
Yes.
Can you describe what happened on the day of Jack's incident?
Well, I told Jack and his sister Jill to go get a pail of water. When Jack came home, he was dizzy and about to pass out. I told old Dame Dog to put some vinegar and brown paper around his head. When Jill came in and saw the bandages on her brother, there was an evil grin on her face. As soon as I noticed this, I slapped her.
You say you slapped her.
Yes, with the evil grin on her face, it was obvious as hell she had done it.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this witness?
Not this time.
Who would you like to cross-examine?
Again, can you prove she was grinning? You keep saying she was grinning, and I don't see any proof she isn't grinning.
My client will take the question from here.
You asked a question, do you want her to answer it?
Yes.
Can you repeat the question?
Do you have any proof she was grinning?
I'm not gonna take a picture of my grinning daughter.
That's the same thing this witness said. Are you just saying that? Why do you have any proof or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
You have proof?
You,
Can I see the proof?
So you want her to have proof of when the incident happened,
Well, they're asking us, do you have any? You
Okay.
We don't have.
so you do have proof. Mother, you have proof?
Yes.
Bailiff, get the proof of the grinning Jill. Here is grinning Jill.
That doesn't look to me as being grinning. She looks pretty surprised he's falling down. And didn't you say it was when she came home, not on the hill?
She came home and we were already grinning. And what is your definition of surprise?
Well, her face is open, like she's surprised.
That is an opinion.
Well, but that's what you usually do when you're surprised.
That is still.
And my client will take one last question.
Do you have any other questions, Mr. DeSalle?
Yes.
Also, if you notice by the picture, she could also be trying to reach down to grab him. Do any of you see that?
Do you want her to answer something?
Did you think that she would be reaching down?
No.
And why is that?
Well, in the picture, you can see she's not trying to hit Jack. She's pushing him away. No further questions.
Anything else?
Oh, that is that.
Anything else for this witness?
Not this time.
You may step down. Do you have any other witnesses?
No.
Do you have any other witnesses?
Not this time.
Okay, at this point, we will need your closing statements.
Wonderful journey. As you can see, Jill is a murderer. Jill never liked Jack. They always hated each other.
The fingerprints. No, sorry. Jane Julia Jackson, the mother, the true mother, and Old Dame Dog both agree that Jill pushed Jack off the mountain as an attempt of murder. The proof is undeniable. Jill is the murderer. Think of letting a dragon terrorize a city. None of us would do that, correct? That is how life will be with letting a murderer free in the city. That is how life will be with Jill let free in the city. Now, as you see, they do not have correct documents, and why would anyone choose the verdict of a team with incorrect documents and incorrect data? That is all.
Your opening statement. statement, or closing statements?
Wise jury. Going from our proof of the carrying the grave to the priest, and all of our proof of saying that she is kind and our spot on witnesses, Jill is a very nice girl, and we proved it, and it is not incorrect, because we had a lot of documents that were correct. I think we can all agree that. And I'd like to send my final closing statements over to my client.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you can see, my client Jill cannot be and will never be called a murderer. She won't be guilty of a crime she didn't commit. The first evidence is the friendship between Jack and Jill. Many witnesses and pictures prove that. Second, her work with the poor and her voluntary work in the church show how kind she was. Finally, the prosecution did not show and can never show true evidence of Jill's guilt. I hope you select the verdict of not guilty.
Counselor, what is it you're trying to do?
Oh, I was just trying to send a picture of them following different directions as he said it.
Okay, I will grant you that, bailiff. Bailiff does not take anything until I tell him to take it. I will give you this last part of your closing statement. What is this?
This is a true picture, and not an animated one, of what actually did happen. As you can see, they fell in completely different directions, as you can see. Thank you.
Okay,
We need to know when they can get back.
5 minutes. Thank you. Bailiff, will you please escort this team out to the table they were at? Escort this team out. Audience. Okay, I'm getting ready to stand up, which means you're getting ready to stand up. When I get outside the door, you can sit and then talk about this court case, okay? When I get outside of the door, make sure the jury follows me.